Hello guys. Okay, today I'm just gonna make a video about you can't take the you can't take people's pain away from them. This is actually one of a person, like I came across someone who was actually a mother, and she was having I don't know, she said something like her daughter was experiencing depression, anxiety, and all that. And honestly, I feel like, you know what, you can't take the pain away from people, even if you feel like you want to be there, you whatsoever. The idea of trying to fix someone is one of the most toxic way, or another way of showing you that you need healing. The fact that you want to take people's pain away, whether through fixing them or through every time I okay, you can't take other people's away from them, whether you like it or not. Maybe even if you want to support them, that's not a support, it's just another distorted way of taking care of other of your loved ones, that you can take pain away from them. Why? The thing with pain, if a person has not yet realized that they're in pain, what does that mean? That means that person is not yet aware to tell someone to do something whenever they're not even aware. That's why sometimes you have to let people to find out on their own, because we're all here to learn, we're all here to experience life. So if I choose to take someone's pain away, I'm being selfish. Why? Trying to fix other people, it's being selfish. Be you're making them to be dependent on you, which is extremely toxic. Nobody's supposed to be dependent on anyone emotionally. That's codependency, it's not it. So the fact that another person is not realize that they are struggling with this and that, and the fact that they don't know yet the root, or maybe they don't want to go to therapy or counseling or rehab. For just for example, when someone is drinking, or is very deep in drinking, probably they are running away from their pain. And most of the time it's true, they're running away from whatever that you're experiencing pain to numb it. So the fact that they don't recognize it, you know what, I'm a fucking alcoholic, I am so dependent on alcohol, I'm so dependent on drugs. The fact that they don't understand that they're actually, they need to make some changes, they need to do some changes, because the thing is, you can't change people. This is something that you just have to stop doing to other people, trying to let them to be the best thing that you want them to be. Yes, I get it, see potential, that's good, but trying to fix them, trying to make them decision for themselves, it's just another way. It's, you are just asking for something that will never happen. You can't take people's pain away from them. They need the pain. Well, there's something that whenever about the thing about depression, it's I'm just gonna say that the thing about depression is that it's another form of telling you that you can't be the same person that you've been. You can't be the same person that you've been. You need to make some changes. Depression will happen to you for you to transform your life. Depression will happen to the fact that you're not yet recognized that you're depressed, the fact that you're not yet recognized that you have depression, the fact that you're not seeking help, the fact that you don't see anything about you going out and seeking help from anyone. There's a high possibility that whenever someone is trying to the fact that you're not even talking about it, because a lot of people who went through depression, anxiety, they tend to struggle with asking for help. Like, I personally, I'm like that myself, but I had to learn to speak, because you can go to therapy and you're only to find out you're not even willing to open up, not willing to be vulnerable, putting your walls up. How can someone assist you with that? I get it, sometimes we just want to detect energy, whether I can trust you with something that's happening internally. So it's not gonna be easy to open up to anyone, the stranger. I just don't, I'm like that myself, so I understand the whereby you're just detecting whether the energy is safe for you to opening up. it's safe for you to be vulnerable with this person, because it's necessary. Even just someone is a therapist or coach or life coach, whatsoever, not all I have an aura that you can trust. Not all of them they're doing it with a good intention. So, or maybe not all of them they're not for you, because not all therapists or counselor, life coach, spiritual coach are aligned with your soul. So all of that, it need it need that person who's supposed to go out and do it, not your mother, not your partner, not whoever. If your partner is obviously it's okay to be observant and be like, okay, my daughter or my husband or my wife or girlfriend or boyfriend is actually struggling with depression and whatsoever. It's okay to be observant, it's okay to be there for them, but it's not support to trying to take the pain away from them. Because when you're taking people's pain away, you are depriving them of being the hero in their own life. You are depriving them uh, to to trust themselves again. You are depriving them from growing, because sometimes, like, you can't tell me that taking other people's pain away, it's another form of allowing them to be growing spiritual, because we are all here, we're spirit beings, we are constantly growing spiritual. So there's no way that you can grow spiritual when someone is already injecting with your life, or trying to make your life easy in terms of that they think it's supposed to take away to fixing you. Nobody's supposed to be fixed. Even fixing people is just toxic. I did that in the past, but the thing is, I did fixing when people are coming across me, and I've learned in a hard way how toxic that thing is. It's not a good thing to do. It's just unhealthy. The thing is, people tend to depend on you. Obviously, there are some energy vampire who constantly want you to make like thing for them. To like you end up coming across people like that, who want you to do the inner work, who want to think for them whatsoever. Even if you didn't help them before, because you're operating in that energy of trying to fix other people, trying to do things for other people. You tend to attract a lot of people, because your energy is like that. You are in the energy like, untouched, I'm not gonna put it's okay to not want to see people going through things. It's okay not to want to see people going through pain, but it doesn't mean you're supposed to be like all about now I'm supposed to do that. Like, you're supposed to fix them. Even if you have a soul whatsoever, soul, a healing aura, you having a healing aura, it's enough to be around people. It's enough for you to listen to them. It's enough for you to ask questions. It's enough for you to just be supportive by just being around them. For example, whenever like someone is actually a being emotionally, they wanna cry, they're crying, it's okay to not just tell. I hate people who say things like, don't cry, oh, crying is weak. What the fuck? Like, why are you saying that? Like, it's extremely toxic to tell someone to not to cry. It's extremely toxic to tell someone, oh, crying is weak. I just don't understand those motherfuckers. Like, why are you saying that? Like, why? Okay. Like, I see. Okay. So it, like, I don't understand motherfuckers. Like, why are you doing that? Like, why are you telling motherfuckers to stop trying? Like, what the fuck? Like, being vulnerable is not a fucking weakness. You being strong, you are just being strong by allowing yourself to be vulnerable. You are being strong for allowing yourself to just collapse when it's time for you to collapse. It's okay to collapse sometimes, because it's another way of surrendering. Surrendering. You know that, you know what, I've tried everything. I've tried to control everything, and you're just being reminded that you are not in control. We are not. The high power is always in control. Your ancestors, your spirit guides, God, source, whatever that you call it, they need you to surrender. They need you to trust them. Where you just have to do what is required to do. You're not supposed to go around fix other people. People will fix themselves. I came across I'm not like a huge fan of the Kardashians, but the thing is with the Kardashian, because of their popularity, they tend to pop up in your YouTube. Like, the video will pop up. So I was like, I had I think it's Chris, is it Chris Jenny? Yeah, I heard they're saying something like, I'm trying to fix it said something of fixing his son. And I'm trying to fix, like, what the fuck? The entitlement, the shit behavior, the shit energy in it. Like, I'm trying to fix them from what? They know that they're depressed. They know that they have to go to whatsoever they need to go through. They know that they don't want to be in the same place. It will take them their own commitment. It will take them their own devotion. It will take them their being honest, their vulnerability. So who the fuck are you to think they can fix someone? Like, I don't understand that energy. I might have tried before, but not to the manner that I'm just like, I'm trying to fix. What the fuck? Like, I did fixing without even being aware that I'm doing fixing. Because most of the time, I'm just going to one example of the past person that I came across who wanted me to think for them. Mm, I don't remember. So I'm actually thinking of this one girl, but it's not a good example for this. So it was like she wanted me to be her friend. The thing is, when we have a healing aura, or have a aura that is beautiful, that people can trust, that people are comfortable with, people tend to want they want you just because of how much you make impact on them. They just want to be around you to drain your energy. They just want to be around you to drain that energy from you. They want, like, for example, I've learned in a hard way, a lot of people ended up being friends. It's the same people that I happen to be in the right place. They needed someone to talk to, because most of the time strangers were drawn to me to tell me about their problem, tell me about something, and then I happen to be able to tell them what they needed to hear. And we just happen to be in the right time whatsoever. And the thing is, my boundaries, I knew that I'm not supposed to be friends with these people. I'm just supposed to help them. But obviously some I rejected them, but some I didn't, because they were pushy. I didn't know how to respond to pushy people, especially those people who try to control you with their push energy. Or I knew that they're being dicky, like they're giving me dick energy, and it made me uncomfortable. But I thought maybe it's rude to just, to tell it, to deny someone who beg me. Like, the with narcissist people, they tend to beg, like extremely beg you. Even if you're in a relationship with them, you remember they beg you to be in a relationship with them. Those motherfuckers. So it was like that. I had friends that were supposed to be people that they were not supposed to even know my name. Just because the thing is, it had just happened sometimes that I meet someone more than once. So I tend to just be soft when someone is actually having things like that happen. Like, for example, if I met you for the first time, and then the next time I end up meeting you, maybe we'll end up being in the same event or something, just like maybe we'll end up being in the same class. I'm like, what? So I tend to be soft, but I realize, you know what? I need to set boundaries. My boundaries are shitty as fuck, and I need to work on that. So that what happened. Like, I made a mistake of being friends with people who were supposed to be that person. It's more like a one night stand, but it's not a one night stand. It was supposed to be something once off thing. So yeah, you're not supposed to be friends with your client. You're not supposed to be friends with people that you gave advice them to. So they ended up leeching. They ended up wanting to be around you. They want to, like, they want you to do the work for them. They know that your aura is amazing, to the point that that girl even tagged me, or like, I know her. We went to the same high school, but when I met her, I was doing my honors. She was also, I think she was doing her second year. She was going through something. We happened to be in the same, like, we never talked. We said hi, hi, hi. And then when university, we ended up being in the same university. And then she was like, she told me her business, and I was like, okay. And I happened to be helpful because she needed someone, and I happened to be there. We happened to, the fact that universe made us to be in the same place, made us to be temporal roommate, because we were temporal roommate for 2 weeks. So she needed my, like, when you are an earth angel, like, God will make you to meet people, like for example, most of the time I meet people whenever they're in the rock, like when they hit rock bottom, when they are in a place where they don't see any option, they don't see them, they are being so so they are having like a dark thoughts about killing themselves. They are tend to like they reach a dead end. They feel like their life is. I always meet people. I even consider myself as a 555. Whenever you're coming across someone, there's high possibility you're gonna go to 555 because 55 means change. Whether that change is a good or bad change, it's up to you. Whenever I meet someone, they usually in that space. It's very dark, so they want to end their life most of the time, or maybe they want to make decision, but the decision that they want to make are very shitty to the point that we end up regretting later. For example, a lot of like I met a lot of women who want to abort their kids. There's nothing wrong with abortion, but for me, like it's something that I'll never do. To the fact that you are being in a place where you're coming across me, there's high possibility you're not supposed to do abortion. Because why? Sometimes some kids are actually needed. Those kids that you ended up having, they're actually needed. Even if you did abortion, maybe you're being regretful for that, you ended up being meeting me and I'm just gonna give you exactly what you need. For example, being having abortion, it's something that is a lot of women struggling with forgiving themselves with it. It's so hard. Like I get it. It's so hard. To some of them, they ended up being in a prison, like mentally. Your soul is feel like you're in prison, so they don't see their way out. They don't see themselves moving on from whatever that they're actually moving on. So I can't just tell them what the fact that they have to meet me. Then means they have to, like, I would say I'm the God servant. Even I hate the word servant. I just don't like the word servant. I prefer like agent. I'm a God agent. So being a God agent, it make you to be in a place where people who need you will be in the same place. Because that girl was really considering abortion. That girl was really considering ending her life. That girl was really considering dropping out. That like she was going through so much, and like it was so hard. Okay, the fact that I had to be with her for 2 weeks, that means she needed me to be around her for 2 weeks in order for her to change her mind. Because sometimes people just meet them like for an hour and the next thing they're gone, and then only to find out later they change her life, or maybe sometimes not. But most of the time, they also usually change their life, which is like it's good. I like it when it's like that. So but I'm not like attached to the result because at the time I didn't even know that I'm a healer. I'm a healer myself. I'm a shaman. Like I didn't know that shit. So, things like that. You can't take other people's pain. Like you cannot. Like you cannot. So she wanted to be me to be her friend because she know that I make her feel good. And those people ended up being the drain the shit out of you energetically because she ended up on being on my Facebook um tagging me. Like she knew that we're not friends, we're not even that close. Do you know when someone is actually is it tagging? Yes, tagging. Whenever they're tagging you on Facebook, I'm not that much a social media user. Like I just suck at it. So she was like what the fuck? And then I just untag myself? I don't know. I just untag myself, and then it was like she never even ever again done that stunt because I know that she's extremely toxic. Just because we ended up being in the same place, we ended up uh, finding my energy something that you want around. It doesn't mean that I don't have what exactly I want from friendship because honestly, I've learned a lot from my past friendship that I ended up making them friends when we pushing like that energy was like what. So okay, yeah, so people's pain are there for them. They are there for them. They need to go through it. They need to understand why they're going through it. They need to um, recognize it. They need to do it whatsoever, because whenever you're not recognizing whatever that is bothering you, or maybe, for example, maybe you're dating shit people, we'll be like, men are and shit, men are dogs, men are whatsoever, but you don't recognize that the fact that you're dating men who are like this is because you don't believe in love. 2, you don't feel like you deserve to be loved. 3, probably you have inner, all of that it's around having inner child issues, having like inner child that is actually hurt, that is, I won't say broken because the word broken sound heavy. It's more like having inner child issues, wounds. It can make you make shit decision. It make you being fixer, make you be wanting validation from others. It make you so codependent. You make you want involve yourself with relationship that are codependent, whereby you feel like you are needed. Whenever you're in a relationship, people just because you feel like you're needed, maybe you have to wait to be needed. For example, I had friends who actually was there for my energy, but I ended up giving more than I should. They were giving none. So I was like, why I am staying with these people? And I realized, oh, it's because of that. It's because I'm waiting for me to be needed. You know, because sometimes whenever people, they know that you are a good person whatsoever, they will come at you whenever they need something.